from the bottom. Ain't no problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon' be okay. Hey, look, why? Cause we gon' make them pay. We from
Next game, we got Michigan State Spartans traveling down south to South Beach to take on the Miami Hurricanes. This line opened up in favor of the Hurricanes -8. Right now, that line's at -6. The total for this was at 59.5. Right now, that line's at 56.5. The Spartans coming off an upset victory week 1. Wasn't really an upset. It wasn't an upset. They beat the shit out of Northwestern. But, some people
they
may
were
look
underdogs.
That they were.
That was the underdog I picked week 1 was Michigan State. No
respect. They were underdogs, and they were going against a Northwestern team that was just in the Big Ten championship, so going against Ohio State. So they're 2-0, 1-0-1 against the spread, while the Miami Hurricanes are 1-1, 0-2 against the spread. Get to these actual factuals. Shout out to the hardcore cat who fell from the ceiling at that game. Michigan State, they are 5-12-1 against the spread in the last 18 games. The over's gone over 5 out of the last 5 games from Michigan. The over's gone over 4 out of the last 6 when the Michigan State's on the road. It also has gone over 7 out of the last 8 games when playing in the month of September. Michigan State, they are 16-4 straight up in the last 20 games when played in week 3. But they're 3-12-1 against the spread in the last 16 games played on a Saturday, and 3-10 against the spread in the last 13 games when playing as an underdog. Miami Hurricanes, excuse me, 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games this season. Oh, well, that also includes last season. They're undefeated 4 out of the last 6. They're 9-4 straight up in the last 13 games, 5-1 straight up in the last 6 games when playing at home. But 1-7 against the spread in the last 8 games when playing against the Big Ten opponent. 6-1 straight up in the last 7 games when playing in the month of September. And they are 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games when playing as a favorite. Now, Michigan State does have some injuries. Collins, he is doubtful for this game this week. They do have a defensive end and a wide receiver, White, who are out with undisclosed, and a linebacker who's questionable. Well, those guys are questionable, but Collins is doubtful for this week's game. For Miami, Hodges, tight end, he's out for this game. Smith out indefinitely. Channing Jr., he was one of their flashy running backs. He's out for the season. And Knighton, another flashy running back, out for the first 4 games. So just because I follow Miami as well, I know De'Aaron King personally. They are thin at the running back position, and they haven't been showing any sparks. But Michigan State taking on Miami down there in Miami. Flat Top, what you got for this one?
So on this one, I think you mentioned a lot of it. They are looking a little thin on the running back. I watched a pretty good amount of their game against Appalachian State. I ended up taking the under in that game, so that ended up working out. But just Miami this year, in watching them, it's just looked, a little different than in past years watching them. And at the same time, I've been watching Michigan State. I think that they came into the season pretty underrated. So my play for this is Michigan State points, so the plus 6.5 against Miami. I just haven't seen anything in this season that leads me to believe that Miami is a touchdown better than them, especially going into it with some injuries and, maybe a little bit of an ego blow the first week to Alabama. I know everyone was pretty hyped up for that game, and Alabama is arguably the toughest team. So, I just want to see them be competitive. I think they'll be competitive in this game. I don't think they're going to be 7 points better than Michigan State team. So Michigan State plus 6.5. That's what I'm taking.
All right, Marley, what's your play for this?
I think one of the things you said, Alex, I think that Alabama loss was a major blow to Miami's ego, and it deflated a lot of enthusiasm they had for the season. I think because I think Miami thought they were probably. I don't think they thought they were better than Miami, but than Alabama. But I think they thought they were at least competitive.
Yeah.
And I think getting blown out that way was like a reality check. Like, whoa, we got a long fucking way to go until we're. And then to come in and battle with Appalachian State afterwards had to be another kind of like, shit, we're barely better than Appalachian State. Which Appalachian State is a really good fucking team. So
They are
right. They do. They got some guys that make their roster look pretty good.
Yeah.
Right. But I think only football people know that. Like, you know what I'm saying? People, your average fan, like my wife don't know shit about no Appalachian State. You know what I'm saying? She's probably never heard of no fucking Appalachian State. You know what I'm saying? Your average casual fan, I don't even think the average football fan really knows. They know Appalachian State from beating Michigan, but they don't know this Appalachian State, recent Appalachian State. But with that being said, I still think the blow of keeping that game close is still, even for people on our campus, I think it's still like, damn, we barely beat Appalachian State. And this Michigan State Spartans team, man, Thorne, man's 30 for 46, 465 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, 85.3 QBR. He's been balling. Walker, the running back, 30 carries for 321 yards, 5 touchdowns. They're averaging 40 points a game, only giving up 17, even though I think they gave up 20-something against Northwestern. So I agree with Flat Top here. I'm on a 6.5. Miami may win this game. I actually might. I don't know if they might win this game. This is a toss-up, in my opinion. But I don't think they're a touchdown better than Michigan State at this point. They're going to have to show me. There's nothing that's led me to believe that I can take Miami minus 6.5 at. No, they barely beat Appalachian State. I know they're a good team, but Michigan State is a good team too.
Yeah.
I think they're a better team than Appalachian State, or at least just as good on a neutral field. Could Appalachian State beat Michigan State? I think it'll be a game. And if that's the case, this should be a game as well. But I think Sparty's a little bit better, honestly. And I think they're a little bit better. They're a little bit tougher on defense, or just as tough on defense. And if Thorne doesn't turn the ball over and play like he's been playing, they should at least be within a touchdown. So I just think it's way too many points. I definitely think, as much as I like the team, I haven't seen anybody else do anything, and he can't carry that team by himself. He's a little banged up himself over these first 2 games.
Yeah, he's still coming off. He's still coming off that ACL injury.
Right. And he took some hits in that Alabama game too.
Man, he took some hits in this last
game. I didn't even see much of the Appalachian State game, so I wasn't sure what they did to him, but. I know in Michigan State, Sparty's better known for being tough on defense than they are offense. I haven't watched a lot of them play this year. But Miami's only averaging 19 points a game. I know most of that is from Alabama, them shutting them out, but I think they only scored like 25 against Appalachian.
23.
23, because I did a lot of betting on that game. Caught them when they were down. I was like, look, they're gonna go. They're at least gonna drive to get in field goal range. Caught them at a great line. That was a big come up too. But
I'm on Michigan State here plus the 6.5, man, or 6. Excuse me, 6.
Yeah,
that's official for your boy.
All right. I just like this. Man, I follow Miami. Miami, talent-wise, they might be kind of neck and neck. Miami should have the edge on them talent-wise. But I've been following them. You know, they get complacent. I'm not a fan of the offensive coordinator. Yeah. You know, he can coach himself out of a game very easily, very quickly, especially if they're down. I think, and we're talking about Big Ten football, you know, Blackwell, he ran the ball great for Michigan State week 1. Like I said, they came out surprising, guys. I'm going to have to take Michigan State. Now, Michigan State got a ton of transfers also from around the country. And I think those guys are sold into the program. They're 2-0, chance to go down to South Beach, get away from the weather up north, and kind of, you know, shock everybody. I'm riding Michigan State official play +6, but again, me personally, I'm gonna put some on the money line, man. For this game, Miami went through 2 tough games. Alabama was a tough game. This Appalachian State game was a tough game, and what started messing them up was Michigan State. Appalachian State started sticking to their game plan. They finally went to their game plan and they started pounding the rock. With a veteran quarterback. So I like Michigan State. I'm with you guys. So far, a lot of my picks have been underdogs, but I think they might win this one, man. To be honest with you, I would not be surprised.
I definitely would not be surprised.
But Michigan State, yeah, I'm gonna have to ride with those guys, definitely.
Check it out. Look, we from the bottom, ain't no problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon' be okay. Hey, look, why? Cause we gon' make them pay. We from